Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Sunday service of Now Creations. Let me again simply begin by telling you what a joy it is to be with you. There's nothing more important for any of us to do than to reflect our Creator's love, to reflect it certainly back to our Creator, but also to each other, to our family and our friends, and to humanity, to the planet, and beyond. Make no mistake about it that the most important thing we do is to reflect our Creator's love with the gifts that we have. With that little reminder, a couple of other reminders, tomorrow evening when we have our meditation from 7 to 8, we've been doing some very, very interesting things. I invite you to join us if you're able to do so. And then tonight from 6 to 7:30, we'll be having our topical conversation on grief. I think it'll be extremely interesting. We certainly welcome you to attend. With that in mind, let's begin today's teaching. It continues to be a great pleasure to be able to talk about our futures. It's quite satisfying to allow our past to be the past, to be at rest. We have played the game of separation. We've had the experience of being caught in our egos time and time and time again. So now it's a joy to move forward in alignment with the God Spirit, and especially to move forward in alignment with the God Spirit with each other. So very important. Today, our teaching is going to be the fifth in our series of Moving It Forward, and it's entitled Your Contributions to the Future. Let's begin. We're going to begin today, first of all, as we focus on this fifth principle with your contributions to the future. We'll begin with a very simple but clear concept. We'll then build from last week's teaching on soul guidance, and then proceed to be putting into practice our contributions with three very practical reminders. First, the simple but very clear idea. Here we are. We're on the planet. We're on Earth at this time. And you and I are participants in humanity. This is where we are, here on the planet. As such, I feel that we have a responsibility of contributing to the benefit of humanity as we are able. Please hear those words, as we are able. We are here not as passive participants, but rather we realize that we have gifts to offer to the human community. So very important for us to understand that. But again, as we are able to do so. In poker, there is a term that is used if you want to play the game. That's very interesting. The term is to ante up. If you want to play, you must ante up. You must put your money into the pot. We have chosen to play the game of humanity, which means that we must ante up, which means that each one of us has a contribution to make to the pot of humanity. Of course, this is what we want to do. We want to bring heaven on earth. We want to bring this awareness to the planet. This is what we signed up for. This is why we realize why we are here. We want to create the good, the beautiful, the holy. We want to take our rightful places as co-creators in the universe. But there is a difference between having a good idea to ante up and to actually bring those ideas into expression. So let's briefly review from last week's teaching and then proceed. The essence of last week's teaching is, how do you want to conduct your life from this time forward? How do you want to show up in your life? Or more specifically, how will you listen? How will you listen to your soul's guidance as you create your future consciously? Notice I use the word consciously, for we are now at the point in our spiritual growth that we are being conscious co-creators with the God Spirit. It's not just that you are what God is doing, that you are deciding what God is doing. You are deciding what God is doing. You realize that your you is both of God as a guidance, but it is also of humanity as the mode of expression here in the material world. You are truly uniting your humanity with your divinity. Let's say it the other way around. You are consciously uniting your divinity with your humanity. You are deciding what God is doing. Quite a feat that you have accomplished. Thus, we are now ready, in a sense, to carry through our soul's guidance into the material world. You are ready to ante up. You are ready now to play the game, not of separation, but now you are playing the game of bringing heaven to earth from your conscious alignment to the God Spirit. Now, before we get to the specifics, two reminders are important. First, remember the distinction that Eckhart Tolle gave us between purpose and roles. We all have the one same singular purpose, namely to bring consciousness to the planet, to bring awareness into the daily situations of our lives. How we bring this consciousness to the planet comprises the roles that we play. Our roles are the specific ways that we will express the consciousness. Now, I will get to our specific roles in just a moment, but a second reminder is helpful. The second reminder is not to allow your mind to get in the way of what your soul is guiding you to do. Your mind is very, very crafty. It will say things like, well, you know, your contributions to the planet, they're too small to count. Your ideas from the soul, they're too out there. They're too far-fetched. You're not being realistic. People will think you're crazy. Just try to be nice and just do the best you can. Please, please do not allow these mental excuses to stop you. Your mind is necessary to implement the decisions of your soul, not to subvert them. Your mind is here to implement, not to subvert. Keep the order straight. Your soul is the decision making. Your mind is the implementer in the world, and your body will do the actual expressions. So let's now get then to the specifics of how you will respond to your soul's guidance. Now, obviously, I cannot give you your specifics. Your specifics are unique to you. Let's be very, very clear about it. So what I will do is to show you the pathway of how I am implementing my soul's guidance, of how I am anteing up. Not that you do the things that I do, but just giving you an example of how you might go about it. So this is the way I do it. First, I clearly ask myself these three questions. The first one is easy. I ask myself, Vince, what are you really good at and what do you enjoy? It's the first question I ask myself. What are you good at? And what do you enjoy? Secondly, very important, what are your principles and your values? You're going to see this come into play shortly. And then thirdly, Vince, are you willing to be of service? This notion of service is not a nice theoretical question only. It is a very practical way of saying, are you willing to put your money into the pot? Are you willing to put your money where your mouth is? Are you willing to ante up? Are you ready to walk your talk? So from these three clarifications, this is what I will now do. Again, I'm not trying to tell you what your specifics are. I'm just trying to give you an understanding of how I use this pathway for my own specifics. So here we go. I have asked myself, Vince, first of all, that question, what are you really good at and enjoy doing? What are you really good at, Vince, and enjoy doing? I am really good at teaching meditation and inspiring others to know the God Spirit within them. And I enjoy doing that. So, with this understanding of what I am good at and what I enjoy, I began to implement how I will do it. So as a result, I do the following things. Once a month, I teach meditation via Zoom at Penn State University. Once a month, I teach meditation at a local mental health facility. Twice a month, I teach meditation at a local drug and alcohol recovery clinic. Twice a month, I teach a 6th grade class on Roman and Greek mythology. And every day, and oftentimes twice a day, I teach consciousness raising in our Now Creation study groups and enrichment sessions. These are my specifics. They are my roles. One purpose, to bring consciousness in any ways that we do it. But there is one more specific that I want to mention. As I mentioned, I have certain principles and values, just as you do. One of these principles and values is to take care of the planet, our Earth, our home. So recently, I received an advertisement for clean energy rather than the traditional fossil fuel energy. I received the advertisement as I was just going through several pieces of mail, and I was ready to pitch it until I remembered, now wait a minute. This is an opportunity to do something for our planet. Is this a value for you, a principle for you, or not? Well, it was. I noticed that the unit kilowatt cost was a little higher than my usual electric company's cost. But the question came again, is this a value for you, or is it not? The mind came in to say that your contribution would just be so little concerning the planet. And really, it doesn't depend, the planet does not depend on your little conception of electrical energy. Oh, that clever mind. But the question for my soul said again, is this a value or is it not? I signed up for the clean energy service. I hope that by sharing these principles and values with you of how I go about my specifics, perhaps might be helpful to you. Not to try to tell you your specifics, but simply a method, but also including these 3 practical reminders that need to be mentioned. The first one has to do with the saying that, well, you know, the devil is in the details, which simply means it's one thing to say that you're going to do something. It's quite another to actually do them. For example, some people are not receptive to the programs that I am teaching. Sometimes people fall asleep during the meditation sessions, especially at the mental health and the alcohol and drug clinic. Sometimes the mechanical connections on Zoom or other devices break down. Or sometimes it just takes a lot of preparation to do the programming for now creations. The point is that one must stay centered in their soul's guidance. I must stay centered in my soul's guidance, in my willingness to serve. It's so easy to lose your soul's intentions because the pathway to expression can be bumpy, hard even. We all face such blips, and it's just important for us that we keep on encouraging each other. After all, we're going to be doing the things that we really enjoy. The second practical reminder, as you continue to live authentically from your God Spirit's universal principles and values, as you show up and ante up, please never doubt that the Spirit within you will spark others to do the same. This spark to others is clearly understood when we remember these 2 things. The first one, didn't someone spark you? Didn't someone spark you? Just such a very important thing for us to understand, whether it was an author, a historical figure, or simply a friend. Each one of us has appreciated the spark that others have given to us, even though they might have been unaware that they were doing so. Which leads us then to the second thing to remember. Please don't worry how you will be sparking others. The universe will take care of all of the appropriate details, just as it has done for you. All that you need to do is show up authentically, and the universe will direct your spark where it will be most effective. Such wisdom recalls the writing of Barbara Marx Hubbard in her wonderful book, Emergence, wherein she states that the absolutely most important thing in life is to show up for others as our essential self, as the God Spirit within us. I believe that you and I are doing this. We are bringing consciously the God Spirit from ourselves into the lives of others. We are sparking. The third practical consideration As you can show up, as you continue to show up from the God Spirit within you, you can expect to expand into greater awareness. Not only will you be more joyful and happier, but your present state is just a preview of so much more to come. I feel that I have been given a peek into the future, and I certainly find it mind-boggling. And yet, in another sense, we are ready to advance and to achieve this glorious future. We no longer fear of reverting back to the old self. We have irrevocably moved into the future wherein our lives will be a reflection of the God Spirit within us. Not only reflecting that love back to the Creator, but truly reflecting it to each other. There is so much more to come. What absolute fun to anticipate this. Well, in conclusion, I trust that you've enjoyed this presentation of what each one of us might add to the human experience of being here on the planet at this time in history. Again, as we are able, we will no longer lose our soul connection, but rather soul-centered. Now, honestly, soul-centered, consciously, are we not here to create the good, the beautiful, the holy, to take our rightful place as co-creators of the universe? And may I add, supporting each other as we do so. We are doing this together. With this in mind, let me now take you into meditation, and what a joy it is to do so. Let us begin as we normally do, by simply focusing on the presence within us, allowing the breath to do its thing. Allow your breath to settle your body, diminish your mind chatter, and bring the inner you, your soul, to the fore. Please begin. And would you again simply say to yourself, well, here I am. Here I am. It's not your body. It's not your mind. It's your conscious soul self. It is your I. And to locate that consciousness more within you rather than outside of you, would you just again place your hand over your sternum and realize that the I shows up in your sacred heart area, right around that fourth chakra area. And would you just take a moment to focus your attention within your body, within the I that is within your body. And would you now say to yourself that I am consciously aware of myself? I'm consciously aware of me, realizing that I'm freely showing up as a creative energy. May you just enjoy being free to create as guided by your soul. Wow. Now, some of you might be saying, well, isn't my purpose here to simply enjoy the physical world and to enjoy what others are doing? Of course, of course. We should enjoy the physical world, the beauty of nature, all of the pleasures of life. We should enjoy what others do for us. But that's certainly not all. So let's be clear and take a moment. Yes, I'm going to enjoy nature and the pleasures of life, and going to really enjoy the spark that others give to me. Just take a moment to be appreciative of all of the things that are given you. Now, obviously, you realize the implication that if others are doing a lot of nice things for you, well, perhaps you have a contribution to make as well. So, what should one do? Let me suggest, first of all, do what you're good at. That's the gift you bring into the planet, what you're good at. Do what you are good at. Oh, and what you enjoy. They pretty well work together. What are you good at? And what do you enjoy? Now, please don't play the should game. Oh, I should be this, I should be that. No. What are you good at? And what do you enjoy? That's the gift. Now you might say, well, I'm not as young as I used to be. What comes to my mind, young and dumb. We've all done that, haven't we? So we're a little wiser now. And I think I mentioned 2 or 3 times in the teaching, as you are able. As you are able. What are you good at? Really enjoy doing? As you are able. And allow the Spirit to guide you as you are able. The question that some people ask is, what do you think I really would have an influence on others, that I would spark others by my own enthusiasm? That question is best answered by another question. Haven't others sparked you? Just last night in our weekend enrichment program, we were talking about how we inspire each other. When you show up in the Spirit, you're an inspiration. Your mind will make 1,000 excuses. Oh, it's too hard. I don't have time. I'll get to it eventually. Jesus had something pretty cool to say about that. He said, you know, we all have a light. Don't put a bushel basket over your light. Let your light shine forth so that all might see your light and not praise you, but praise your Heavenly Father and Mother and brother and sister, reflecting goodness. Your creative energy, the good, the beautiful, the holy. This is probably the best part, though. When we all ante up, throw our chips into the pot. In spirit, there are no losers. We all win. I intend to do my best to make you better. And I ask that you do the same to make all others and me better, so that we might be a reflection of the Creator's light. And be able to exemplify what a great idea the Creator had in mind by creating.
Deep within, peace resides, faith abounds, and love abides. The light shines bright through spirit, we are one. I honor thee, I honor thee, I honor thee. Namaste, I honor thee. I honor thee. I honor thee. Namaste. I honor thee. Namaste. I honor
Now, honestly, don't you find it exciting that you are reflecting our Creator's love and you're with others who are coming from the same place? This is exciting. This is the heaven. Namaste.